Let me hit join. Let me make that bigger for you guys. How y'all doing today? All right. Make that a little bigger for you guys. Here we go. Here we go. Welcome. Welcome to another beautiful lesson today, guys. Welcome to Vibing Works, y'all. How y'all doing today? I hope you vibrating high, especially if you've been paying attention to the stuff I be putting out. You should be at a point where you're ready to vibrate as high as possible. So what's up to all my fellow explorers of the vibrant mind? Today we're diving into something that touches the very essence of who you, myself, and everyone is at our core. The person you were before the world decided to change you. We're talking about the pristine, untouched core that existed from your very first breath, your first laugh, your first moment of just pure wonder, of being here as a human being, your eyes opening up to this whole experience that we're all here sorting out. Think of this as spiritual archaeology, y'all. We're going to uncover some things here. And we ain't just talking about psychology. We're excavating the sacred blueprint of your soul. The divine spark that mystics sometimes call your original face. And the Kabbalists refer to as neshmat. The breath of the divine within you. Okay? So go ahead and grab your favorite beverage. In this case, you know I'm going to pull out the water. I'll be needing that water. Settle in and let's journey back to the garden of your very beginning, y'all. So, this is a very important topic because we got to start peeling back the layers of ourselves and doing the work to actually understand at our core, who am I? What am I? Why am I? Where am I? Okay? So, we're going to discuss this sacred canvas, this blank canvas that we started with. And let me paint this picture for you. You arrive on Earth like a master artist blank canvas, right? But here's the twist. This canvas is already infused with stardust. So, the Hindus call this your Atman. That's the internal soul that carries the essence of Brahman. And you can dive deeper into that a little later if you decide to. But I'm just introducing you to some of these terms. So later, the more you listen, the more you'll understand these concepts. And you'll have a better understanding of where we are with Vibrant Works. Okay? And the vibrancy within your mind. Okay? Christians might say, yo, this is the image of God. You're made in the image of God. Indigenous cultures, they may say, you see you as a walking prayer, a song the universe sings into existence. Okay? But here's what makes this very profound, y'all. You don't arrive empty with nothing in you. That ain't how we show up here on Earth. We ain't empty with nothing in us. You arrive as pure, untapped potential, wrapped in infinite possibility. Think of a seed, y'all, just a little bitty seed that contains within it not just the tree, but the capacity of an entire forest. The whole woods, that little bitty seed, that's you. It's an infinite force inside of you waiting to be birthed. And that's you and myself at birth. We're not a blank state, but a cosmic library waiting to be unfolded and read. So, this is how it goes down, y'all. In those first few years, you're like a radio, perfectly tuned to the frequency of source. So when you first born, you already tapped in. There's nothing else for you to do but be tapped in. You haven't learned to doubt your intuition yet. You haven't been told that magic isn't real. You see the faces in clouds because you still remember that everything is alive. Everything is conscious. Everything is interconnected. You already know this as a baby, okay? The Sufis have a beautiful concept called fitra, the primordial nature of the human being. It's that original purity, that uncontaminated essence that knows truth without needing proof, that loves without condition, y'all, that creates without fear of judgment, Now let's just pause there. Let's wait. Let's just stay there for a moment. Imagine that. You come into this world. You don't have judgment. You just have pure wonder. Pure wonder. You don't need proof of nothing. Nothing needs to be proven to you. You already know what you need to know when you need to know it. And that's the state we are in when we first are birthed into this meat suit here. Okay? So, the language of wonder, y'all. Remember when everything was a discovery to you? At some point in your life, you was willing to go out on a limb and wonder about things. And wonder and dream, can you discover something new in your life? When you could spend an hour just watching a ant carry a little bitty crumb because you understood instinctively that you were witnessing something very miraculous. Okay? That wasn't childish, just being a naive child, y'all. That was enlightenment in action right in front of you. The Zen masters spend decades trying to return to what they call the beginner's mind that you had when you were birthed in the first place. That state of openness, eagerness, and lack of preconceptions. Now imagine you go through all this life, especially when you go from baby to teen to adult. Now you've had so many built-in preconceptions from that initial original point that it shapes you. Now imagine, although you're an adult, you can go into a situation with no preconceptions. Imagine that. You had that natural instinct, intuitiveness built directly into you. You were a living meditation, a breathing question mark pointing at the mystery of existence itself. You just wanted to learn. You just wanted to get into stuff. You wanted to mess up stuff. You wanted to try again. You wanted to walk. You wanted to fall. You wanted to get back up. That was the essence of being a child, y'all. Your imagination wasn't just an imagination. It was your direct line to the astral realm, to the quantum field of all the possibilities that exist coexistently right beside each other, y'all. When you used to play make-believe, you were actually accessing what the shamans call the non-ordinary reality. You were traveling between worlds like the mystic heroes of old. Just everything I'm describing, y'all, we were already tapped into when we were first here. That was your original blueprint, your original understanding of coming here on this world. As we got older, why when we get older, we start losing this imagination. We start losing this wonder, this excitement, this ability to want to discover and fall and get back up and not care because it don't matter that much. Scientists are now discovering that children's brain operate primarily in theta waves. This is scientific evidence, y'all. The same frequency accessed by advanced meditators and mystics. Come on, man. When you already advanced when you come here. Originally, you're advanced. It's already in you. It's encoded in you. You just have forgotten, and that's the point of this lesson. We are here to remember who we are. Remember who you are. Okay? So, you were literally living in an altered state of consciousness as a baby, y'all. You weren't worried about anything. You were just living. You were just learning. You didn't care about consequences. You didn't care about results. You were having fun for the most part. You could go through something traumatic and still smile. So, when we were babies, we were living in this altered state of consciousness, one that modern adults pay thousands of dollars to achieve through various practices. Imagine that. You already had the blueprint in you when you were birthed here on earth, but now you finna go spend a lot of money to get back to that place. And if that's your journey, of course, go do it, because why not? However, understand that is already in you. And anyone that you pay or spend your energy exchange with what they are attempting to do is reflect back to you what's already in you. No one can put something in you that's not already there. Okay? So let's talk about the crystallining years, when things start crystallining in our consciousness. These are ages roughly 2 to 7. Okay? This is when you're most like a living crystal, able to absorb and amplify all of the energies around you with incredible clarity and power. When you go to, like, let's say we go to the mall and you just look at the kids playing in a little mall playground area, man, they are so energetic. They are everywhere. They're filled with life. Nothing can cause them to not be filled with life in that moment. Even when they get knocked down and maybe they cry a little bit, guess what happens shortly after? They spring back up and are ready to try again. That's remarkable. That's what's in you. That's what's in all of us, y'all. So as we start aging or maturing, then we start coming up with all these different ideas and concepts and beliefs to explore. Okay? So, during the years 2 to 7, you're what's called an esoteric tradition, or what they call an esoteric tradition. Excuse me, bear with me, y'all. This is one of the things I'm trying to get these words down. So, you're what the esoteric traditions call spiritually permeable. Okay, your field is wide open. Your etheric field is wide open. Your chakras are spinning freely without resistance, y'all. And your connection to the divine is unfiltered and raw. You're literally downloading cosmic information 24/7, y'all. So this is happening between 2 and 7. Between 2 and 7, that's the biggest imprint of what the next 10, 20 years of your life will look like. Those are our most impressionable ages, y'all. So you already are operating in these age states as a pure cosmic being. But at the same time, we're learning earthly ways. We're learning limitations. We're playing with the idea of doubt and fear. In a real life example, I remember both of my kids went through this, which is very interesting. At one point when they were very small and very young, they would have no fear of like falling off of a tall, let's say, couch or stool, or getting down. They had no concept of like fear in that way. But as they got older, I noticed something in them was activated where now, oh daddy, I need help getting down. Oh, that's too tall. Oh, that's too this. Oh, I can't do that. Whereas when they were babies, none of that was activated. It's very fascinating to me. And that's what we do as adults. You know, we have all of these experiences to activate fear within us without realizing, oh, as a child, this didn't even exist in me. So that's the original blueprint. It's a lack of care to even have fear. All I care about is exploring and expressing who I am at my core at that point in time. Okay? So think of yourself as a spiritual sponge during this time, but not in a passive way. You're more like a mystical translator, taking that raw data of the universe and turning it into play, into art, into just pure expression. As I was explaining, every crayon scribble is a Mandela effect. Every sandbox creation is a sacred geometry experiment. Every imaginary friend is actually a spirit guide trying to connect you to your true nature. Here's something very profound. Many mystical traditions speak of the age of reason around about 7 years old as a kind of spiritual puberty. Okay? It's when the veil between worlds starts to thicken a little bit. When you begin to lose your direct access to the infinite. The Catholics call it the age of accountability. That's a big word. Remember that. Always remember that word as you go forward in life. So, but here's the beautiful part. That original vibration that was activated and expressed through you when you first got here, that core frequency, it never actually leaves. It just gets buried under all your layers of conditioning. You start believing in society, like the society determines who you are. You start trying to fit in. But this is a safety mechanism kicking in and activating in you. Because if you don't feel safe, you don't feel like you can actually express and explore the true essence of who you are. So it makes sense behavior wise. But as you become an adult, accountability, now you realize, yo, I was just doing stuff to fit into what society told me I should fit in. But I'm an adult. I'm a sovereign being. I shouldn't have to do that. That doesn't actually fulfill me any longer. Now I'm going to take back who I am. So we became like a radio signal being drowned out by all the static as we start to age, y'all. The world's imprint, y'all. Now let's be honest about what happens next, y'all. After the crystallizing stage, the world, with all its beautiful chaos and necessary challenges, begins to leave its mark, starts punching down on us, y'all. And this isn't inherently bad. We need some of this conditioning to survive just as human beings, to even function, and to connect with others who have been through the same or similar processes, y'all. Think of it like this. You're a pure note being played by the universe. But as you grow, other instruments join the orchestra. Sometimes they harmonize beautifully with your original songs, and sometimes they clash. Sometimes they're so loud you forget your own melody entirely. Your parents, your teachers, your peers, the media, society, they all become a part of this musical play that you had started. And they're clashing with your identity. Okay? So, one moment. Let me get some water again, y'all. I need this. All right. So let's jump back in. The Buddhists call this the sankharas, the mental impression or conditioning that shapes our perception, y'all. Psychologies, like the deeper psychology, can call it complexes, just simply complexes. The shamans might call it soul wounds or power losses, y'all. But here's what's very, very crucial to understand. Even as these layers accumulate on us, your original essence remains intact underneath. Just think about like the dinosaurs when they uncover them. The essence of that dinosaur after millions of years is still intact. If that doesn't ring a chord in you, you know how much the dinosaur bones and stuff had to go through to still remain as a tangible evidence here today. But the essence of that dinosaur still lives, and we can see the magnificent creatures that they are still after millions of years of them not even being here. That's what you are and I am at our core. We're still connected to our essence no matter how many layers of rock and stone and mud and dirt has covered us up, y'all. It's like a diamond that gets covered in mud. The mud doesn't change the diamond's nature. The mud don't change the diamond being a diamond, y'all. It just obscures its brilliance, its genius at its core. The mystics throughout history have all pointed to the same truth, y'all. The goal isn't to become something or somebody new. It's to remember in the first place who you've always been. The Sufi say, polish the mirror of your hearts. The Hindus speak of this self-realization, y'all. Literally realizing your true self. Jesus said, unless you become like little children, you cannot enter the kingdom of heaven. I don't know about you, but that kind of like touched me. Like, the children in us is waiting to be honored, expressed, protected, loved. Waiting to come back out. Because the children in us has a lot of the answers you're seeking as an adult. The children in you, the children in us have the answers, y'all. But we've allowed that child to be hushed, to be tampered with, to be led and strayed away, to be hurt. But now, I'm telling you, this is the time now to tap back into that child in you. And I'm telling you, the more you nurture that child and you connect with it and you allow it to show you in the first place. I had the answers. Society didn't have the answers. I had the answers. And I was showing everyone around me when I was a child the answers. But we kind of let those answers go where they went. So we can play this game of forget who you are to remember who you are. And this leads into the great remembering, the great remembrance. So how do we find our way back to who we really are? How do we excavate those original vibrations from beneath decades of accumulated conditioning, y'all? First, understand this isn't about regression or denial. You can't and shouldn't try to become a child again. We ain't talking about that. We ain't talking about literally take all of your experiences and becoming a child again. No, we're just saying I'm just saying the child in you is also a pivotal, important piece to your puzzle of who you are now and who you're becoming. And if you allow that child in more and more, guess what? You're going to be a well-rounded machine, well-rounded human who actually enjoys life and not just putting up a front. You feel me? So you can reclaim these gifts that you had as a child: wonder, trust, creativity, the unlimited connection to source, God, the universe, whatever word you prefer there. Okay? Think of it as a spiritual reclaiming. Like, the work is to reclaim yourself spiritually. Okay? You're not trying to erase your experiences. That does nobody any good. You're learning to see them as the outer rings of a tree, while recognizing that the heart of the wood is your core essence. That remains unchanged. So if you don't understand the rings of a tree, this is my understanding, is the more rings it has determines the age of the tree. Like, once you cut wood open and you see the rings in the tree, the more rings it has, the older it has been here as a tree. So it doesn't burn away the old memories per se. It just keeps growing them outward and new ones coming in. Okay? So here's a practical mystical approach. Start paying attention to what lights you up, like today, effortlessly. The things that light you up without you having to process. What makes you lose track of time? Like playing basketball, getting on that guitar, writing, reading a book. What brings you joy without any external validation? Like, you know that you don't care if somebody like that you like this or not. You're not looking for anyone's validation when you perform this act or you tap into this essence. These are the breadcrumbs, y'all, leading back to your original frequency. The Kabbalists speak of tikkun, repair or correction. But what if nothing about your core essence needs repairing in the first place? I know there's a big trend of healing. But But did you know you can get stuck in healing and you never arrive to the place of healed? We've been healing. We've been healing for a long time. What about healed? Let's get to the place of, okay, I'm experiencing healing to get to the place of healed. I'm not saying I'm going to be healing just to be in a state of always healing. No, I've arrived to the place of healing or of healed. So now I can see healing was just a part of the journey. It wasn't the journey itself. So what if the work is simply removing the veils that have covered your inner light? Look for moments when you feel most yourself. Is it when you're with your kids, when you're operating as a wife or a husband, when you're cooking, when you're painting, drawing, when you're connected with nature, taking a walk, riding your bike? When do you feel most yourself? Not the self that you think you should be, but the self that feels like home. Where is your home within yourself? What are you doing when you are at home? These are glimpses of your original vibrations breaking through all of that static we was talking about once we start becoming adults and have to live in what some claim to be the real world. And we're going to take this to the sacred return, y'all. Here's the beautiful paradox in all of this, because life is a journey. The journey back to who you were is actually the path forward of who you're already becoming. Your original essence isn't a destination. It's just a compass needle guiding you to the right direction, attracting you to your magnetic core. It's not something you achieve. It's something you allow to happen, because you're controlling your experience a little bit more than you may give yourself credit for. Okay? The mystics call this dying before you die. Letting go of the false identities you've accumulated so your true nature can shine through. It's like taking off layers of clothing you never needed in the first place. Like, why I got all this extra stuff on? Need all this? As soon as you get home from work, you tossing stuff off. Your socks flying in the air, your bras flying in the air, everything just flying in the air, because you know, I don't need all those extra layers to be me. I'm comfortable in me already. Every moment of authentic self-expression is an act of spiritual rebellion against the world's attempt to diminish your light. Okay? Every time you choose to wonder over being like cynical, creativity over comfort, love over fear, you're honoring that pristine being you once were in the first place. Remember, you ain't broken, man. Stop saying it. You don't need fixing. What you need is to remember who you are in the first place. You need to uncover yourself. You need permission to be as magnificent as you were designed to be in the first place. The person you were before the world changed you isn't actually gone or dead. They're waiting patiently beneath the surface, y'all, holding the key to your most vibrant life. Come on, y'all. This is beautiful stuff we talking about. We trying to get back to our core vibrant state and take what we were as children in that beautiful vibrancy and bring it to adulthood. Imagine you connect with your child self and allow your child self to express itself to make your gray, dark, unpassionate life a little bit more light, a little bit more fun, a little bit more bright, not caring what nobody think. So, to all my fellow explorers of the vibrant mind, your original vibration is your greatest gift to the world. The universe needs your unique frequency, your specific flavor of consciousness, y'all. Flavor Flav. Your irreplaceable in contribution to the cosmic symphony that we all have a role in. Now, today, take a moment to connect with that pristine essence within you. Listen to your original song beneath all that noise, y'all. Okay? So, trust that inner compass that has never led you astray. And until next time, keep exploring, keep vibrating, and keep shining your authentic light. Peace, love, and infinite possibilities. Stay vibrant.